So we want to take a little bit of look at all of these activities which you're involved in. One of the activities, or one of the organizations rather, that you're involved in is IPCI, which of course was the organization which was started by Ahmed Deedat, rahimahullah. Tell us a little bit about how you got into this and your experiences within it.
The late Ahmed Deedat and myself actually communicated a few times. He was a great teacher. I remember the first time I met him, he asked me to read a verse from the Bible. This was when I was still a Christian. And I read the verse from the Bible and he said to me, read it again. And I read it again and he said, read it again. And I read it again and he said, read it again. And I thought, well, what is wrong with this man? He just keeps to ask me to read the same thing again. And I was reading it right every single time. But what he was trying to do to tell me is to read it again. In other words, read what is there, not what you have in your brain, not what your doctrine is. See, many times as Christians, we are taught to believe things and we don't actually read what is on the page. This is also the same thing that the Prophet ﷺ was given, is to read, read, read. And so when I embraced Islam and I became a Muslim, the first thing that people ask me is, well, why don't you get involved with RPCR? At that time, I didn't think I was ready for it. I didn't think I was educated enough. I didn't think I had enough information. I'd just come straight out of Christianity. And I thought, how do I go propagate Islam? I don't know how to do anything about that. So I did a sojourn in Malawi for a year or so. And I did some charity work there. And when I came back after about 2 or 3 or 4 years of doing other activities, other Islamic work, I got involved with the Islamic Propagation Center. I got a call one day and they said, we're looking for someone to head up the comparative religion department or teach in the comparative religion department. So at first I wasn't too keen. I thought, well, I don't know if I'll be qualified to be able to do that. And after 3 or 4 phone calls and invitations, I eventually went and had a look. And I suddenly realized this is exactly what I should be doing. In teaching in the comparative religion department, I'd actually be teaching people how to do Dawah effectively to Christians, Jews, Hindus, Buddhists, atheists, agnostics, Satanists, goths, punks, metalheads, whatever they might be. And I saw this as an amazing opportunity to impart some knowledge that I'd learned over the years. Sometimes for myself, I had studied theology for 12 years. When I embraced Islam, I thought, now what? I mean, what job do I do? I can no longer practice what I've learned for so many years. And then I suddenly realized when working at RPCR that all that experience actually counts for something, that I can use that to help Muslims do Dawah to other people. And so I joined the RPCR team about 2.5 years ago or 2 years ago, somewhere around there. And I basically do a 2-month course where I train people how to speak to people about Islam correctly, so it's a bit of Dawah, and then also comparative study. So hopefully they get empowered and they come from all parts of the world, and from Germany, from Italy, from India, from everywhere, and then we train them up for 2 months, and then inshallah we send them out to be good da'is.
Alhamdulillah. So for someone that's coming from a Christian background who's actually embraced Islam, do you find at times you might have a better understanding of the relationship between Christianity and Islam and being able to call people to Islam than someone who's actually raised in a Muslim household all their life?
I think it's a yes and a no answer. Yes, it does help because we understand the perspective that the other person is coming from. So if we were talking to a Christian, I understand how the Christian is thinking. If it's a Hindu that I'm talking to, I studied the Vedas and I studied other Hindu scriptures. Also gives me an idea of where they're coming from. The disadvantage is that because I've come from a Christian background and because I've spent all my years and years and years, 30-odd years studying Christian belief, I'm at a disadvantage because I don't have as much information about Islam as I'd like to have. It takes a very long time for me to learn Arabic. It's taken me a very long time to learn the Quran the way I should have, where I would have been if I had been born in a Muslim family. So there are disadvantages and advantages, but we have to make the best of what we have, and we have to thank Allah to Allah that He has given us what we have and use the experiences He's given us. So I don't see, I'm not angry or not upset that I wasn't born a Muslim, but I'm not pleased that I wasn't. It's both a good and a bad for me.
But for any deficiency or anything that you lacked, you are involved with many other organizations, such as the MCA in South Africa. Tell us a little bit about your role with this organization.
The Muslim Chaplains Association, or MCA, it's actually quite funny because it's called Muchas. On the website is M-U-C-H-A-S. The first 2 letters, Muslim Chaplains Association. Muchas, if you're Spanish speaking, is great or wonderful. Muchas gracias, or thank you very much. So the Muchas was sort of unintentionally started. there was not an idea that said, oh, well, I think we need to start the Muslim Chaplains Association. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what a chaplain is a person who visits either the military, the police, or hospitals. And they normally, their job is to give spiritual advice and help to people that are in different various situations of illness or pain, or maybe they've been locked up in jail for some crime they've committed or didn't commit, and they're waiting trial. The chaplain is normally sent us. Now, you get chaplains in Christianity, in Judaism, and Hinduism, but we've never really had chaplains in Islam. There's one or two people who call themselves chaplains in Islam, but the majority, it's not a sort of a term that's not really understood amongst Muslim communities. So basically, all a chaplain is someone who gives spiritual advice, as well as physical advice if they need it, helping their physical needs, helping them with material objects if they need them, like books or finances if they need, or needs be, or food, or whatever it is. So we take care of their like a holistic care. And so the Muslim Chaplains Association started by coincidence. I was in hospital for some treatment, and while I was having treatment, I saw these Christian chaplains coming in and helping everybody and talking to everyone. I thought, wow, imagine if we as Muslims had the same thing that we could do for the Muslim community, and the ripple effect would be we could do this for the Christian community as well. So it started through that a couple of years ago. And so we started by just visiting Muslims in the hospital. And what happened is, when problems happened, maybe someone was arrested for drunken driving, or somebody was in a car accident or whatever, and they suspected they were Muslim, they would contact us. So we would come out to the scene and we would help whoever it was. Sometimes somebody who wants to commit suicide and they're on top of a building, or taking pills, or going to shoot themselves, they'll call us out to that scene as well. So as chaplains, we go out and we help in whatever the scene is, to help alongside or the police and the military, or whatever it is. But what's happened is it's gone further than that. And today we are getting called out when Christian priests don't want to come out, or when the Jewish rabbi doesn't want to come out. So the Muslim chaplains are actually filling in for other denominations. So we get called out by the hospital, and they said, well, we tried to get hold of the priest for this person, and we think this person may not make it. Would you be prepared to come out? And we say, yes, no problem. So we go out and we treat them from their point of view first. So we don't say to them, listen, I'm a Muslim and I'm here. We're just there for them. When they ask us who we are and what we represent, we say we're a Muslim chaplain. And then we help them from a Muslim point of view. So we actually have an opportunity to do Dawah. And over the last, for example, for the last year, we've had over 150 people embrace Islam because of the work that we're doing just in the hospitals. That's not the military or anything else. So it's an amazing work, an amazing opportunity. And inshallah, we're hoping to start MCA offices all over the world. At the moment, we just have one in South Africa.
Definitely be a good idea. So even though you're a Muslim chaplain, you really have the chance to interact with people of many religions.
Definitely, and it opens up opportunities for us in so many departments. So today we probably see about 40% of the people we see are Muslim, and 60% of who we see in the hospitals and are non-Muslims.
That's truly amazing. May Allah bless you in this project. Hope it does prosper. Now, you're also involved with something called the Alternate News Network. It sounds interesting. What would it be? Tell me about it.
Alternate News Network, what we do is we investigate what is happening in popular media. So if there's an article that comes out from CNN, or something that's reviewed on CNN or Sky News or whatever the network might be, something's written in a newspaper or a magazine, our job is to investigate whether this is a valid story or not. So we look behind the scenes and find out, we do our own investigative journalism on the journalism that's been done. So there's so much negative media about Muslims today. And so what we do is we have a look at this information that is being given, and we see if any of it is true. And if it's not true, then we expose it. So we contact the newspapers. Now, the newspapers, if they write, or a magazine or television company has said something negative about Islam, they're not likely to retract it. So we continuously hound them. And if they don't want to acknowledge the fact that they lied or they misrepresented the information, we post it on the web. So we have a website that we post this onto every week, every day, or every week, or every month. And it's called truthalwayswins.com. So it's www.truthalwayswins.com. And on the website, we post new articles about information, revealing the truth behind these things. We also look at other things like swine flu, example. The myth, or was it created? Is there really a danger to people? We also have a section on Alternate News Network where we deal with health issues. So we look at health-related issues. So we look at why prohibition on pork and the reasons why we shouldn't eat that. And many other issues: alcohol abuse, drug abuse, So we look at society ills. So yeah, it's an intense network, but the department that I deal with is specifically deals with Dawah. So I only deal with the Dawah department within Alternate News Network. And we create Dawah packs. And these Dawah packs are basically contain a Quran, a DVD that tells you everything you need to know about Islam that will keep you busy for at least a year. So it's information that shows you how to perform your salah. It's got audio clips on there, video clips. It shows you step by step everything that you need to know when you're doing wudu. Everything you need to know basically for the first year of being a Muslim. It has some books in there. It has all the information that will keep you busy for a year in these Dawah packs, and we use those. We make them, manufacture them, and we distribute them free of charge to Muslim organizations to use in Dawah. So within Alternate News Network, that's my function.
That sounds like an interesting project as well. What we'll do is we'll stop here and we'll see you viewers after a short break. Wassalamu alaikum.
Spread the word of Islam. Muhammad, peace be
Pearls of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Narrated on the authority of Jabir bin Abdullah, may Allah be pleased with him, that Allah's messenger, may peace be upon him, said, "He who shows no mercy to the people, Allah, the exalted and glorious, does not show mercy to him." Sahih Muslim, Volume 4, Book of Virtues and Good Manners, Hadith number 5737.
Explore the wisdom and balance of Islamic law. And the genius of Muslim jurists who distilled the essence of the law into short statements of potent meaning. So join me, Riaz Ansari, for a survey of Islamic legal maxims.
Appreciate the accountability of Islamic laws against all manner of corrupt practices in Islamic legal maxims with Riaz Ansari every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. in Saudi Arabia and 9 p.m. in India on Peace TV.
ولله الأسماء الحسنى فادعوه